intermittent fasting and you walked away from it and you want to get back in, today's broadcast is for you. I always like to start the broadcast off with introducing myself. My name is Diane. I'm the creator of the online course, Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman, as well as the online course in the community, the Midlife Mindset Shift. And here we talk about all things pertaining to us as aging women. Most often it's about intermittent fasting. So if you're joining us live or whether you're joining us on the rebroadcast, I want to make today's conversation very much conversational. So I'm going to ask you guys a lot of questions and hopefully you will be responding in the comment section. I want to make this a conversation for you. You, the individual woman who's feeling like you might be a little bit stuck and unsure about intermittent fasting or maybe why it's not working for you. I'm going to give you a little bit of tips and tricks. So get ready. I'm going to ask you guys some questions and get that keyboard ready. I want you guys to participate in the comment section. So with hand raised, so give me a high five in the comment section. How many women who are either here now live or are going to join us on the rebroadcast have been concerned about whether intermittent fasting would work for them as a woman? So in the comment section, give a high five if you have been concerned that intermittent fasting maybe just isn't working for you as an individual, or you've been concerned about intermittent fasting as general because you've heard some other things around the internet that have been warnings for you as a woman. And what I want to talk about today is why intermittent fasting works for us as women. And I don't want to talk about anything that has to do with nutrition. I want to just talk about us as women and the lives that we are leading and some things that we are bringing from us conditioning wise and our mindset from our past. And so why intermittent fasting works for us as women is because we as women are just busy. We are wearing so many hats today. We are often, bringing in income to our family. So we're workers. We are moms. We are maybe mentors to others. We are wives. We are fitness people. We are, managing finances. We are the cook. We are the grocery shopper. We are making sure the household stays together. Like, we have so many hats that we are wearing. And what I really believe intermittent fasting does for us is it just gives us a break, right? It gives us a period of time within our 24-hour day that we can just do nothing. And there's no better feeling for us as busy women today wearing so many hats to give ourselves permission to just do nothing and just live our lives, right? If you have been a dieter in the past, I am admittedly a dieter in the past. I've coached many women on how to diet in the past. I just remember those days of running around on the weekends, doing all the grocery shopping and coming home and prepping all the food for the week and putting it in little containers and then making sure you had, your 6 meals prepared to take with you, and you never left the house without a, insulated cooler, a little snack bag full of something, because if you didn't eat, something bad was going to happen to you. And if you were hypoglycemic, you felt that bad. Or if you were, trying to diet, you felt like if you didn't eat, you were going to gain a bunch of fat. And what intermittent fasting is really proving to us as women is that our bodies need a break. They just need a break from using food all the time in our day. And we need the opportunity for our body to just rest. And we can give ourselves some time back in our schedule, some time back in our day, some time to actually take some time off on the weekend, because we're not running around like chickens with our heads cut off, trying to make sure we have all the food that we need to get through the week. So first and foremost, the one major reason why intermittent fasting is working so well for us women is that it just gives us our life back. It gives us time and permission to not chase food all day long. The other reason why I believe intermittent fasting works so well for us women is that it gives us an opportunity to create boundaries around how we are handling our life. Somewhere along the line, as women, we have really been mentally and emotionally conditioned to believe that food fixes all bad things, and that we turn to food anytime anything in our life is not going the way we hoped it would. So we have a sad event in our life. We use food. We have a stressful event in our life. We use food. We have a celebratory time in our life. We use food. We're feeling uncomfortable about a situation. We use food. We're bored. We need food. We need to entertain. It's food. And then we end up in this position in our life for a lot of us who gather here in this community where we start to go through this aging process. And yes, our metabolism slows down and things in our body just aren't working the way they were. And we have this conditioning from our past that we're so afraid to let go of, because that's the only way we know how to cope, is we use food as a coping mechanism. And what ends up happening is we're making ourselves cope our way into being really sick and not happy with the way that we're aging. And what intermittent fasting does for us is it allows us an opportunity throughout our day to have a designated period of time where we are not creating a mental, emotional, or physical chemical reaction in our body, and we're letting ourselves just be. Here in this community, we call that the energized sense of calm. When we are just so chilled out emotionally and mentally and physically, we have enough energy that our body is able to create on its own through a pure source of energy production, that we are chilled out. We're not needing uppers to get our day going, and we're not needing downers to have our day end for us. We're just chilling out on our own energy source. And that is really what intermittent fasting can do for us. Another amazing benefit of intermittent fasting for us women is that it has been proven to reverse the signs of aging. So a lot of the things that we as women are unhappy with about how we're aging can in fact be reversed with the practice of intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting just allows us to regain our youthfulness. It allows us to have the energy that we want. It allows us to repair some of the things in our body that are really starting to break down just because they are being overworked. And that giving ourselves that permission to just do nothing for a large majority of our 24-hour day really does allow our organs and our body and our systems to take the break that it needs and just regenerate itself in a more youthful way. Notice I haven't said anything about nutrition. I haven't said anything about calories. I haven't said anything about macronutrients or what kind of diet you should follow with intermittent fasting. I'm simply talking about how intermittent fasting and giving yourself permission to not depend or rely on food to get you through your day can be the best thing for us women. It will allow us the opportunity to just thrive and survive off of our own means, right? We don't need to have anything to quick fix us. We don't need to have anything to make us have energy. We don't need to have anything to bring us down at the end of the day. We are resetting our body so that it can run on its own accord. I think what happens to a lot of us women, and this is where I'm going to ask you guys to participate in the communication of our comment section again, is how many times have you purchased a diet program thinking that it was going to fix your problems? So how many times have you purchased a diet program thinking that it would fix your problems? And then when you finish the diet program, because diet programs are always for a designated period of time, you end up with the same problems, maybe even more than you had before you started the diet program. This again goes back to that conditioning a lot of us women have, that we think food fixes things and food fixes bad things in our life, right? And that we can't have our own means of fixing things or settling things or making things the way we want them to be. And so we turn to what we know is the norm, and that has just been the conditioning that we have around food. So if you have been relying on diet programs to fix things in your life, meaning like if I just lost weight, I would be happier. If I just, changed the way my physique is, then maybe I would be more confident at work. If I just did this thing and bought into it, then I could have this thing. And you can never exchange how you take care of yourself in a prepackaged way for an exchange of something else in your life being better. You just can't do that. You have to do the work from within. And you have to make sure that you are being honest with yourself about the choices that you're making in your life. this is the time of the year here in my world of coaching women and helping women really find their happy place in their life, especially for a lot of us going through this midlife season, where we really have to think about the choices that we're making for ourselves. And this time of the year, with everything that we've been had going on over the past 6 or 7 months leading into the holidays, I start to feel a sense of panic and a sense of like franticness about how it is we want to make changes for ourselves, hoping things will get better. The way you look, the size of jeans that you wear, the amount that you, the number that you see when you step on a scale, those are not things that are going to make you happy if they change. Happiness is from within, and we have to learn to start thinking for ourselves and making decisions based on what we want our happiness outcome to be, right? And so that's what I want you guys to think about. What is the happiness that you are searching for, and how can you, as the woman, create that happiness for yourself? And it has nothing to do with the diet. It has nothing to do with macros, and it has nothing to do with the size of jeans that you wear. It starts with what you want in your heart and how you talk to yourself in your head. Intermittent fasting is the thing that allows you to just calm down, just be at peace, and just give yourself the time that you need to heal from within. I know we have a lot of graduates in our community who come in to the Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman course wanting one thing and then leaving realizing that they wanted a whole nother thing for their life, right? I'll do anything to lose that 10 pounds. I'll do anything to lose that 20 pounds. And you end up leaving learning a new thing about yourself, right? Like, I don't care how much I weigh because now I feel better. I don't care how much I weigh because now I see myself in a different light. I don't care how much I weigh because now I really have the things in my life that are really important to me, and you got them for yourself, right? So in the comment section, I want you to put a yes if this is resonating with you. So put a big fat yes in all capital letters in the comment section if this is speaking to you. You deserve to end this struggle and the conditioning that we have in our mindset about what food's purpose is for us as women. Food's purpose for us as women, and quite frankly, to any human being or any living creature, is a nourishment of our body to sustain our life. That's it, right? And when we can put food into that category of it has a purpose and we're only going to use food for that purpose, then we can free ourselves up to end this cycle of oftentimes disappointment, feelings of failure, feelings of inadequacy, feelings of panic, feelings of franticness, like this is the last thing I'm going to do. I'm so desperate. If you find yourself feeling that way and saying those things to yourself in a state of desperation, I need you to just slow down and take a deep breath. You need to create some boundaries and give yourself permission to do things a different way, right? Just consider doing things a different way. So if you said yes, if you put a number of how many times you've paid for a diet program because you thought that changing something about how you physically showed up in a space was going to make your life happier, if you feel stressed out about the holiday season because every holiday season you end up gaining weight, I want you to start now to create a plan for yourself and to create a mindset for yourself that this year, regardless of other stresses that are going on in your life, regardless of other situations that you don't have control over, that this year it's going to be different because you have us, you have this community, and you have a new tool that you can put in your arsenal. And that is the opportunity to take a period of your 24-hour day and do absolutely nothing but rest in your own energized sense of calm and do nothing to interrupt the chemical makeup of your brain, your heart, or your body. And I promise you, when you get that down and you understand the chemistry that happens in that process, everything in your life will change in the direction that you're hoping that it will change. We got to slow down. We got to be patient. We have to erase desperation, and we have to just start thinking. One of the things that I really hope that you guys do here when you check in with this community is listen and think, right? Don't listen and do. I want you to listen and think. Think about some of the things that we talk about here in this community and how do they apply to you? And have you ever considered trying something differently? Stop listening to people who only are going to tell you that it's their way or the highway. They don't know you, girlfriend, and they have no idea what is going to work for you. You have to listen and think, and then start making decisions that are going to serve you best. Stop the panic, stop the franticness, stop the desperation, and just slow down and think. I'm always going to ask you guys to think here. I'm going to ask you to consider what I say and then question the heck out of it. How does this apply to me? How can I take this information that's being shared here? How can I take some of the stories that I hear from the comment section that are read here? And will that apply to me in my life so that I can be happy and healthy? Because if you're healthy and you're not happy, you're still unhealthy, right? We got to have both of those things working in unison with one another. Happiness and healthiness go together, and we all deserve to have both of those. So no more dieting, no more spending frantic money on quick fix diet programs, no more expecting someone to tell you what to do. You have to learn how to start questioning things and start thinking for yourself so you can create the lifestyle that is working for you and not working for other people. Okay, I hope that helps you guys. This week, or I think the last 3 weeks have been really interesting for me on my end, and the messages that I'm receiving and the emails that I'm getting and the conversations that I'm being pulled into with a lot of women who are just feeling so out of sorts and feeling really, really, I think, fed up, right? And just done. And when we have to think about when we say things like, this is the last thing I'm going to try, or I'm feeling desperate, or I'm just done, I'm over. Like, what's the option on the other side of that? And what are you telling your brain about how it is you're going to care for yourself? And I want you to consider leaving the options open. I want you to consider keeping the experimentation going. I want you to consider the fact that what you were doing before wasn't working, but there are better ways out there. It may not be this way, but there are ways that are working out there. And I think once we understand that we have the right to think for ourselves and make decisions for ourselves, and if we listen and then think and consider, that you might find that there's something out there that will actually work for you and get you what you want. And that is my goal here in this community. And that's what I expect of all of the students in our course. When you're inside the Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman course, I don't preach to you what to do. I ask you to consider some options, and I teach you the tips and tricks that I have learned in my own life. Now I'm 6 years free of diabetic stress. I don't have to worry about that anymore. I've reversed my insulin resistance. I'm 54 years old. I'm totally healthy. I'm working out like I did in my 30s, probably even better. I don't have to run on the accord of other things. I can do it on my own. And that's really what I hope to build in this community here, is a community full of women who are running on their own accord and not the schedule or the dialogue from someone else. It's really the dialogue that we create in our own brain is what we all deserve to have for ourselves. Okay, Deb, hello from October. She's a 2017 grad, always here. Love having you with us in our community. Marcella, yep, I got a high five from you for sure. Dixie, high five. Raisin, I think it is, high five. Starla, concerned about research that says older people lose muscle with fasting. Okay, so why would you lose muscle while fasting? That's the thing that we have to ask ourselves when we read that kind of stuff. Like, why would that make sense? When you're aging, you're already at a place where your body is going to naturally not have as much lean muscle unless you do things to produce lean muscle. So if you've done nothing, and the only thing that you're doing is aging, yeah, there's a probability that you're going to lose some lean muscle just because that's what happens when we age. But if you're aging and you're practicing a lifestyle that promotes lean muscle in your body, there's no reason you have to lose lean muscle. Like, I'm not worried about losing any muscle because I do things that promote lean muscle in my body. And I also intermittent fast. So you have to consider the source. You have to take the whole picture in mind when you're reading those things. And then you have to ask yourself, how does this apply to me? And if you're just aging and you're not doing anything to promote lean muscle mass, you're going to lose it. The one beautiful thing about intermittent fasting, when you do it correctly, is your human growth hormone production is at about 600% higher than if you weren't practicing intermittent fasting. Human growth hormone is also what produces and promotes lean muscle mass in your body. So you have to have all the information, and then you have to ask questions of yourself when you're reading that information, and don't take it as a blanket statement because it probably doesn't apply to you. So I hope that helps answer that question, Starla. Jody, hello, girlfriend. IF is incredible. Diane's teachings and courses are so helpful. Thank you, girlfriend, for saying that. Jody has been doing amazing things in her life now that she's practicing intermittent fasting as well. Lori, also, I think you said anything else. Intermittent fasting doesn't necessarily cause hair loss. Sometimes it's what you're doing within your practice of intermittent fasting that could cause hair loss. I think everyone kind of goes through a little bit of a phase of that. But it's mostly just because you're having hormonal shifts, just like if you were pregnant or you were nursing or you have any other type of hormonal change in your body. There are times when you just have a hair loss situation. I went through the same thing. I got some biotin. I upped what it was doing in my feasting window, and lo and behold, the hair loss situation went away. So you have to consider, again, what it is you're doing within your 24-hour period. It's not just that it's intermittent fasting, but it's the other things that you're doing as well. Lou, hello, girlfriend. It's good to see you on here. Louisa, I don't always say hello, but I'm still at it. Hello from Miami. Good to have you with us, girlfriend. I love having you here whenever you can. Trust Style 40, Ashley, at least 4. Yeah. No more, you guys are not allowed to buy diet programs anymore. Diet programs aren't serving us. We have to think about what it is we want in our life in the big picture, and how can we be happy living in that big picture, right? How can we have all the things? Because yes, you can have all the things. You just have to make sure that all the things is clearly defined by you, right? So one of the big misconceptions about intermittent fasting is once you start intermittent fasting, you can eat whatever you want, right? Because you fasted, therefore you can feast on whatever you want. And that is true, but you have to think about what you want. Like, so what I want at the end of the day is to not feel fatigued. What I want at the end of the day is to not feel like I'm what I call fluffy, right? And there's certain foods that just make me feel fluffy because I'm retaining water. What I want at the end of the day is a clear brain. I don't want brain fog. I don't want memory loss. What I want at the end of the day is a good night's sleep. What I want at the end of the day is to be able to wake up the next day and look and feel my best and have the energy that I want for my workouts and to manage my life throughout the day. And I know within those things that I really want, there's some foods that if I feast on in my feasting window that are going to not allow me to have really what I say I want. So you have to make sure that what you're saying is true and authentic to the life that you say that you want. And then you have to just make sure you have parameters built around that. I could eat whatever I want, but the outcome that I'll have at the end of that belief system is me not being happy with myself. So I want to be able to be happy with myself first, how I show up for myself, energy-wise, how I show up for myself, mindset-wise, how I show up for myself and the way I see myself, and then I build my feasting window around that one for sure. So no more diets. Raina, 2 times. Yep, no more diets for you either, girlfriend. Julie, October IF class. You guys are about to be graduates. Friday, all my IF course members from October 2020. When we come back on next Monday, if you join us on the live, you get to say you're an October 2020 grad, and that's a big deal around here. So I can't wait for you guys to come back around next week. Adria, hello from Hot Springs, Arkansas. Good to have you with us. I think that's Arkansas, AR. Margaret, hello. Yep. Marcella, yes. Strength Within, hello from Orlando, Florida. Yes, see all these yeses here for sure. Bridget, it's magical, lady. So Bridget's in our October class. She's doing amazing things for herself. And the thing I think, Bridget, I want to congratulate you on the most is that you're thinking. And that is a big thing. We have to start thinking. And I really like to describe that as staying in a state of consciousness when you're in a decision-making situation, right? So oftentimes when we're numbing out or exhausted by the day or we're stressed out in a situation, we go into that numbing phase in our own mindset and we stop making rational decisions, right? And we just do the thing that's going to feel good in that moment. And then as soon as that moment is over, we go into that cycle of self-sabotage and negative self-talk and then regret. And so staying conscious and really thinking and asking yourself really smart questions about what it is you're about to do will really help you. And Bridget, I have to say, you've been doing that very well. Sandra, IF October class, you're going to be a graduate soon. Ashley here from class. The class has taught me so much above what I am in control of. I also love not having to pack up 6 Tupperware meals a day. Girlfriend, I'm telling you, it is the best to be able to leave home and not have to pack snacks. And so what I always like to say here in this community also is, when in doubt, fast it out, right? Because you know a fast is always going to put you in a healing environment, and a feast is always going to put you in a chemical reactive state. So if you're out running errands and you're afraid you're going to get hungry, don't pack a snack. You'll be fine. Pack a water bottle. If you're, well, I always say, if you're going on a trip, I know we're not doing that a lot these days, but if you're going to travel, use your travel time as an opportunity to fast. If you don't have food with you, you won't eat, right? And there's nothing wrong with providing yourself an opportunity to not have a chemical reaction. And that is what fasting is doing for us. It's allowing our body to not have a chemical reaction and do the work it is designed to do, and that's heal us from the inside out. So Ashley, you are doing a great job as well, girlfriend, and I'm super, super proud of you. Starla, perfect answer. Awesome. Sheila, I find myself feeling better during the fasting portion of my day than the feasting, although I am calmly look forward to feasting all day long. Maybe this is a cue to have a longer fast. I'm already doing 20 hours though. Okay, so I always say, when you're really comfortable with the 20-hour fast, how is it going to hurt you to do 21 or 22? Or maybe just have a 7-day period of doing a 1 meal a day type of thing. And 1 meal a day is 1 meal a day, right? So 1 meal a day is taking about an hour to just enjoy a feasting experience with your family. 1 meal a day is not a snack and a feast. That would be 2 meals a day. So 1 meal a day, just have one amazing nutrient-dense dinner with your family, and then see how you feel there, right? Another thing to consider if you're thriving in the fasted state and you're not feeling great in your feasting state is to keep a food journal and figure out if maybe there's something that you're feasting on that is not serving you out of a fasted state, right? And so remember, when you're in a fasted state, your body has an opportunity to really drain what you have in storage. Your body's going to go through cycles of what I call food awareness, right? And it's amazing how we all have different chemical responses and reactions to different foods. And that healing environment makes those very obvious to us. So this is how I figured out soy lecithin was a problem for me. This is how I figured out corn fillers in foods were a problem for me. My body got so tuned in every time I created that chemical reaction that I was very, very aware of what was not working for me. So I would keep a food journal and see if maybe there's something in your feasting window that maybe isn't serving your body, and then always reintroduce those things back in after a couple of months and see if it changed for you. I used to be super hyper reactive to gluten. Now my body can tolerate it a little bit more. I just have to make sure I don't have repetitive experiences with gluten, and then I'm usually fine. But before, I'd have one gluten experience and my body would just blow up with water. So your body will also heal itself from some of those food intolerances as well, but it's worth it to pay attention, make a journal, keep some things out as a test, and then reintroduce them and see how you feel for sure. So Sheila, do that and then check back in with us. Dominique, girlfriend, it's good to see you as well. All of this good stuff about IF resonates with me. Love learning about how well fasting works for women inside of the October 2020 course. Yeah, Dominique, you're doing great as well. It is amazing how when we take nutrition out of it, right? And nutrition no longer becomes the bad guy for us, and we just let our body have an opportunity to break, and we take away all the choice possibilities. How we really do understand that it's not about nutrition, it's really about how it is we are making decisions and the choices that we are making throughout our day for ourselves, and how sometimes there's a conflict of that in what we say we want for ourselves and then what we do, right, to support what it is we say. And oftentimes those don't match up. And when you take a break and you take a step back and you take the choices away, it becomes very, very clear when you have a conflict between what you say and what you do, and it gives you the opportunity to really clear that up. So Dominic, you've been doing great in class as well. Jennifer, I turned 50 in May. My scale won't go down. I'm trying everything. Well, Jennifer, if you're not a graduate of the intermittent fasting course, you definitely haven't tried anything. And I would highly recommend jumping into our November 7th course. I'll put a comment in the comment section for you guys. Just get on the email list. We'll start sending emails out every week or every weekend until we get closer to the course start date. I would highly recommend jumping into the class if you're not a graduate yet. If you are a graduate, just go back through. You might just need a refresher of some of the information and the whys that we do what we're doing, and see if this might be a new lifestyle for you. What we really try to build here in this community is lifestyle changes and not temporary fixes to an emotional connection we have to a weight on the scale, right? We really want to incorporate lifestyle changes that will really allow us the opportunity to be happy and healthy. I would really love to have you in class with us, girlfriend, and you could celebrate your birthday. Let's see. Who else? And when in May, Jennifer, are you turning 50? I turned 50 on May 55. I wish I was 50. 55 on May 2nd. Brenda, July, August 2019 grad, and this is a lifestyle. Yes, for sure, girlfriend. It is totally a lifestyle. Jennifer, thank you for pounding this concept into my brain. Yeah, for sure. And it's the community that we have together here, because there's so many distractions, right? And there's so much conflicting information, and we have all these people trying to tell us what we're doing is not right for us and that we shouldn't be doing these things, and we're going to risk this and we're going to risk that. And if you think about it, you guys, intermittent fasting is just taking a few hours out of your day, and you're not doing anything to mess up your body chemistry. I don't know why that has been such a trigger for so many people to fight against for us as women, right? It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to have a sophisticated feasting plan. You don't have to cycle in a bunch of herbs. None of that stuff is necessary. Just pause and then listen and then think and make decisions that are going to serve you. That's all you have to do with this lifestyle. And I'm telling you, you will get your life back. You will get your life back, and you will love the life that you have the opportunity to create for yourself, for sure. Bridget, yes, thinking all the time and listening. Yes, for sure. Think. Liz, we are traveling today. Instead of eating breakfast, I asked if we could just grab coffee and go. Just had lunch. My husband said he really enjoyed waiting for lunch. That is a hashtag win for sure, girlfriend. Yeah, like if you're sitting in the car, right? When we think about what food does for us, it provides energy, it sustains our life, all those kind of things. If you're going to sit for a long period of time, which is why I have a philosophy about traveling, I don't bring it, I don't buy it, I don't accept it when I'm in travel mode, is because you're not requiring a whole lot of energy, right? Expenditure, you're just sitting. And when you sit and you consume a bunch of food, and usually if you're traveling, it's not the best food, it just backs up your system. And what if you could do the opposite, right? And if you could just give your body a break while you're traveling, and food is not going to be something that has to be a priority for you, you can just enjoy the travel experience. Then when you get to your destination, you enjoy the food of your destination. And then the food experience and the celebration you have when you reach your destination becomes even more special. So that is definitely something we want to consider for sure. How much does the course cost? You can find everything in the link in the description right there. It's just right above you, and get on my email list. You'll get all the information there for sure. And then Jennifer, thank you. I will look into the class. Yes, please do. November is the last time we have class. We won't have class again till sometime in January. So make sure you get in November for sure. And then you have a whole year to go back and review your course lessons. And it really is, the Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Women course is based on the concept of you thinking. You really making decisions that serve you. I don't tell you what to eat. I don't tell you what not to eat. I don't give you a meal plan. I don't do any of that stuff. I want you to just think about how you feel when you make certain decisions and how you see yourself living in your everyday life. And that is really the basis of creating a lifestyle for yourself for sure. So I hope to see you in class with us. With this work for a person that has hyperthyroidism? Yeah, for sure. You know, the thing about a lot of these conditions we end up having as we get older, hyperthyroidism, hypothyroidism, diabetic states, insulin resistance, hypoglycemia, foggy brain, a lot of the autoimmune disorders and stuff that a lot of us women are now having to deal with as we go through this aging process. Even infertility. I suffered infertility a lot in my 30s. Is just the fact that our bodies bogged down with food, right? Our systems are so backed up. They're not working the way they were designed to work because we're constantly throwing a chemical reaction at them and we're expecting a response, right? And so giving yourself a break and giving your body an opportunity to reset itself on its own terms, the way it was designed to operate, is really where the benefits of intermittent fasting come. And for a lot of us women, that is the biggest benefit, is you give your body the opportunity to just reset itself so it can work the way it was designed to work, where we're not interfering with it at all. So it works for most things for sure. May 8th. Well, girlfriend, we have a birthday in like the same week. We'll have to make sure we celebrate next year. So make sure you're hanging out with us here in this community for sure. Raisin, I think it is. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Looking forward to joining the November class. Awesome. Just make sure you get on my email list for sure. And I'll start emailing you guys here coming up. What my oh my, thank you. I enjoy your videos a lot. Well, I enjoy you being here, being part of our community conversation. So thank you so much. William, is water fast for 10 days better than IF for a month? Goal being weight loss and mental clarity. Water fasting for 10 days, I think, is a personality thing. You don't have to do any sort of extreme fasting to get the benefits. I practice intermittent fasting. I've been practicing intermittent fasting for almost 6 years now. I reap all the benefits that intermittent fasting promises, and I don't do anything in what I would call an extreme or extended fasted state. So I just fast intermittently and I'm reaping all the benefits. So if you thrive personality-wise in an extended fasting window, so 10 days, whether you reap the benefits or not are going to depend on how your body responds to that. It's not for everyone. It's not necessary for everyone. So I would test it out, see how you do, and then you'll have your own answer on that one. Margaret, I like that IF is so straightforward. I don't need to buy any more books on diets. Trust me, I could open a bookstore. Yes, me too. And that's really why I stopped talking about nutrition here in this community. I mean, I have a certification in exercise nutrition. I could talk nutrition all day long. But what I have found after coaching and counseling and mentoring women for the last 4 years here in this community and 30 years in my career as a fitness coach is that when push comes to shove and we become emotional and we start to think about things in our life that maybe are causing us stress, or we check out and we start to numb ourselves with things, common sense nutrition goes out the door. And we do what our emotions drive us to do, or what we've been conditioned to do in those kind of situations. And so nutrition, for the most part, is really not the problem. And it's not even the lack of nutritional education. It's the lack of understanding how we respond to emotional situations, and the fact that we haven't been taught how to create boundaries and to just be comfortable in a state of empty. And when we're comfortable in a state of empty and we thrive in a state of hungry, because we all know here, hungry is where the magic really does happen, that's when we can really make some progress with healing ourselves on all levels. And I believe that a healed woman is a woman who feels confident in a state of emotional crisis, a woman who feels confident in a state of mental crisis, and a woman who feels confident in a state of physical crisis, right? When something happens in your life that doesn't go as planned and you can handle that without food, girlfriend, you are on the road to healing for sure, because we know food doesn't fix those kind of things. And that's really the mission and the goal that we have here in this community. Hannah, I'm 37 and struggling in infertility still. I never heard of IF helps. I'll try it. So when I was struggling with infertility in my 30s, I'll tell you exactly what I did. I wasn't quote unquote practicing intermittent fasting then, but what I did, I had 2 instances where I was managing infertility issues. One was when I was 37, I think 37 going into 38. I had a miscarriage 4 months into my pregnancy, and then I had to recover from that. And then I had about a year to get my body out of the infertility stage. And we were trying for a year to conceive again. Wasn't happening. Doctor couldn't find anything wrong. And when I changed my lifestyle, that's when I was able to become pregnant again. So I did the same thing twice. So this is what worked for me. I cut out all processed foods. I cut out all dairy. I cut out all gluten. I cut out all caffeine. I cut out all alcohol. And I ate what would be considered, I guess, a very clean nutritional plan. And I really cut down sugar, and I exercised very sensibly, and I just let go of the pressure of what I felt my body was struggling with. And both times that I did that, the third month into living that type of lifestyle, I was able to conceive. So I know every woman's body is different, but I do also know that there are a lot of things that we do in our everyday life, and you want to consider what you put in your body, what you put on your body, and what you put around your body as possible things that are causing your body to be in a state of hormonal imbalance. And so consider all three of those aspects of your life: in your body, on your body, and around your body, and do a little bit of research on some things that could be causing some infertility issues, and then see if you can eliminate those things, and then just give it a good run for sure. And then I wish you the best of luck for sure, because I know how frustrating it is when you're dealing with those sorts of hormonal issues or blocks, I guess would be the better way to say. So Hannah, if you have any questions, you can always shoot me an email, and I'll see if I can answer something more specifically for you. So intermittent fasting, ladies, it is the thing for us. I would almost say it's a magic pill. Like, if you can really understand how your body can thrive in a state of practicing intermittent fasting. Remember, we're not doing anything by extremes. We're not denying ourselves the simple pleasures of life that make us happy. We're just understanding our body by listening to concepts, understanding the basic science about what happens to our body in a fasted state, and then making decisions based on how we think things will serve us best. And I promise you, if you can figure that out, you will do great things for yourself, not only as a woman, but as an aging woman, and you will really be able to thrive in an environment where you have all the things that you say you want for yourself, because you will actually make decisions based on what you say you want for yourself. So like I said, our next class starts November the 7th. We do have registration currently open, so if you want to register early so you don't forget, just go to fortodaysagingwoman.com. You can click on the little square that says intermittent fasting course. You can get yourself registered. You can save your spot in class. If not, go ahead and get on my email list. I will start emailing you guys. The last week we have registration open, so around the 1st through the 7th of November, we'll get you all the information you need to make a decision, and I hope you guys will join us. It is a great opportunity to end 2020 on a good note and really have a good, solid lifestyle foundation set up for yourself going into 2021. Thanks so much for spending time with me today, you guys. I always appreciate you participating here in the community. I appreciate you being willing to share your stories with us, your successes, where it is you're struggling. That's what makes this community so great. Make sure as you're heading into the end of this week and into the weekend that you have a clear concept of what it is you want for yourself, and that you will make the decision so every day you can wake up looking and feeling your best and living your most authentic life. I'll see you guys around Instagram hopefully this week, and then I'll see you guys back here on Monday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time.